3-year-old fillies go 1.1 miles on the turf in race number 7 at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Oaks Friday. It's the Edgewood Stakes. Dan Illman, Mike Beer here for Daily Racing Form. Before we get to the analysis, remember that the Derby's Saturday, so go to DRF.com for your one-stop Derby shop. Derby packages, past performances, betting strategies, clocker reports, and tons more. Everything you need to win big at the Derby, DRF.com. Here's the field for the Edgewood Stakes. And Mike, all eyes on the 3-year-old filly division, of course, in the main event on Friday, the Kentucky Oaks. It's very possible that in this deep crop, however, the most talented runner is the number 6 On Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good 3-year-old fillies out there. Certainly the best one on turf, at least last year, was On Pearl. She had a really strong 3-race campaign as a 2-year-old. I mean, I guess that at the end of the day, when you start taking this race apart, if she comes back anything like she was at 2, or, God forbid, takes a step forward, she's probably just going to beat this field.
You're absolutely right, especially considering the Timeform U.S. Pace Projector, which has the speedy On Pearl, a gate-to-wire winner that has never been headed in her career, expected to make the lead in a blue bar scenario, which would favor horses on or near the early lead. She has a running style reminiscent of Newspaper of Record. I think she's actually a little bit better as a 2-year-old than Newspaper of Record was at 2, and Newspaper of Record was very good at 2. But sometimes these fillies don't come back at 3. Newspaper of Record struggled in her first couple of starts. Maybe On Pearl will need the race. The key, though, Mike, is this. I think she's going to have to relax up front. It'll be interesting to see if she's fresh and pulling.
True enough. I mean, I'm going to disagree with your comparison between her and Newspaper of Record at 2. Not that I'm trying to knock On Pearl, but heads up as 2-year-olds, On Pearl against Newspaper of Record. I'll take Newspaper of Record. Wow. Either way, you're very much correct that sometimes these horses do not come back. And I guess if you're going to take a shot against her at a very short price, you're going to do it first off the layoff.
The number 1, Postin' Up, is going to try to come from mid-pack while likely saving ground. This filly got in very good form at the fairgrounds in her last 2 races, utilizing tactical speed. And I would expect her to work out a decent enough trip while not using herself too much in the early portion. Obviously, she has to improve, but she is improving from start to start. She got a nice trip tracking a slow pace last time.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I like her last couple of races in particular. She ran fine back in January when she was second to a pretty good horse in Cernaya as well. So she's taken steps forward since then. I like each of her last 2 wins. I agree with you that drawn from the rail with IRAD up and a little bit of tactical speed, she's going to be sitting in the right kind of a spot. That doesn't make her good enough to even, get up to challenge On Pearl in this race, which she's going to have to do. But if she improves a little bit, On Pearl needs one off the bench, she could make it closer.
And Pearl off the layoff. Giftlist already has one off the bench. That was this race, the Grade 2 Appalachian at Keeneland on April the 3rd. First time North America for trainer Brian Lynch. She's going to chase Jouster, who took him all the way on the lead. A game second for Giftlist with a solid enough 82 buyer speed figure. The pace was not fast in this race. The advantage went to the horse on the lead. She might even have to come from further out of it this time, but this Giftlist has some ability.
I agree. I liked all of her races last year overseas as a 2-year. I thought she ran really well in most of those races last year. I thought she ran fine off the bench there. Dan, Jouster is not a bad horse at all. And Jouster just got absolutely loose on a slow pace in there. Giftlist had no chance to catch her. I thought she did well to be second in there and to be gaining a little bit of ground at the end.
Queen of the Green was a winner 2 starts back at Tampa Bay against entry-level allowance competition. And then the Florida Oaks, she saved ground behind a fast pace, and she got stopped momentarily at the quarter pole. I would have liked to have seen her finish a little bit better once she was clear in that race, but she was stopped a bit and might have been closer if she wasn't. Another one that needs a little bit of pace and certainly needs the favorite to regress.
Agreed with all that stuff. She got into some traffic last time. And at the end of the day, I agree with you that maybe she could have kicked a little harder when she was clear. But listen, by the time she got clear, that race was over. She had lost her best chance already. I liked her win 2 back when she beat Colts. Another race where she got herself into some traffic, but in that race, she managed to get out of it and came with a really good finish in there. I feel like this filly's really headed the right way, Dan. She's got some talent and she's improving. This is a very tough spot.
Barista won her maiden over this course at Churchill Downs and maybe had an underrated trip last time out at the fairgrounds. It was a race where there wasn't a lot of pace. She was chasing wide. She just didn't kick on. The 4th place finisher came back to win an allowance at Keeneland with a 74 buyer. Another filly, well-bred, has some potential. Very tough spot.
Yeah, a tough spot for her. She's another horse. She's maybe more than anybody else in the field. She's still a little bit of an unknown, Dan. She won a Broker Maiden on the turf. When she won that race, getting rained off, they decided to try to make her a dirt horse, and that didn't work out in a very slow-paced race last time.
Line Dancing, the number 5, fourth in her seasonal debut at Gulfstream, did not have a lot of pace to run at that day.
She didn't. Boy, going back and watching the replay of that race, Dan, it almost feels like that had to be a prep for this filly. I mean, her rider took her back, put her behind horses, and didn't even try to make a run into the race at all. Even as the winner swept by her on the second turn, he just sat there and didn't even try to make a move. Once they got into the stretch, he wheeled her out and let her run to the wire in there. I feel like they might have been giving her a race last time, and all in all ran pretty well. And this is a filly who showed some ability and only 2 starts as a 2-year-old as well. She's got a big pedigree. I think she's taken a step forward in here.
Here's the horse to beat, the 6 on Pearl again. Never headed from 3 starts as a 2-year-old. Here's her crowning achievement, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, where she took no prisoners on the lead. She was able to just clear off going into the first turn, came to hand beautifully under Florent Giroux on the backstretch, kicked clear again when it counted, and had plenty left to hold off this field. She is obviously a talented runner. She's likely loose again, and she is tons the horse to beat.
Yeah, just a dominant win here in the Breeders' Cup. You can see the couple of Europeans there closing way too late. The race is already over. On Pearl just dominated them from start to finish, and that was the story of all 3 of her races last year. I mean, we're not going to, point out anything that everybody doesn't already know. If she comes back even close to as good as she was last year, she's probably going to win.
Zagel turf debut for trainer Todd Pletcher. This horse is a graded stakes winner on the dirt, but she won the Forward Gal with only a 66 Beyer speed figure and then ran poorly in the Fairgrounds Oaks. A little bit of pedigree here, Mike. Street Sense 10% winners with first-time turf, a little European on the bottom, but not a tremendous amount of grass.
I agree with that. I don't mind Street Sense as a turf sire. There's really not a lot of turf on the dam side of this pedigree. I feel like they're just making the switch here because she hasn't really been that good on the main track, Dan. Her debut was fine. I know she won the Forward Gal. That was an ugly race, and it didn't come back fast. I think they're just taking a shot here.
Let's take a look at our top picks in here. Again, On Pearl's the most likely winner. Here are some thoughts in case you want to try to use someone else. Mike, Line Dancing's 20-1 on the morning line, had the race last time out, and might have had a good prep.
Just the kind of horse that I'm going to, make a small win bet on, Dan, in this race at a big price, and I'll just use her in exactas with On Pearl just in case she's not good enough. I think this horse is going to run a lot better in this race. I think they might have been prepping her last time.
Class hike, certainly, for Queen of the Green, who did get into a little bit of trouble in that race last time out at Tampa. Liked the way she kicked on home 2 starts back, but obviously needs to improve. She's going to beat the favorite. It's On Pearl's World. Here are 2 possible alternatives. 5-6-2-1 for Mike. I'm going to go with Queen of the Green in the Edgewood Stakes at Churchill on Kentucky Oaks Friday. Good luck.